Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to our movie club. Today we're discussing a movie, Blast from the Past. It's probably kind of a poem, right? A rhyme.
Idiom, yeah.
Idiom. Blast from the Past. So when we use it when we have a skeleton in a drawer, right? Do you have this?
No, blast from the past is more like nostalgia.
Nostalgia. Okay.
Something that reminds you of the old days. We call it, oh, what a blast from the past. Those were the good old days. Yes. So it's a nostalgia comment.
I see. I'm not old, I think, yet, but I often think about past, like about good times. So whenever I compare, the past with the modern situation, I always feel like, we are going downwards.
I miss the old Soviet days when I had to wait in line for the bread.
Yeah.
Lining up to get some food.
Yeah.
So let's talk about characters. Vova, give us names so we can. There are only few characters, right?
Yeah. Calvin, Helen is parents of Adam.
Mm-hmm.
And Eve is the girlfriend of
Yeah.
Adam.
Do you know these names, Adam and Eve, where they're from?
Something in charge?
In charge, yeah, it's from Bible, right? So it's I'm not sure, but they're the first people in the world, right? On the earth, Adam and Eve. So they created all the humanity. Nesma, is something similar in Quran or not?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first man on earth was Adam, and Eve was created from a part of his body. I don't know what's his name in English.
A rib.
Oh, yes, exactly. We have Gerard here. You are an expert in Quran, right?
Yeah, it's odd to me that Islam and Christianity have these tremendous overlaps, Noah's Ark and all this stuff. Yeah. Very weird.
No, it's not weird at all. They came from from one source, so there had to be similarities.
Okay, so now, so I think it's kind of a pun, right? That we have these names because it's kind of similar to the plot. And for today, I asked AI to make us questions, so don't be mad if something delusional. if you see something delusional, because it's always happened with AI, so because it's not kind of doing any fact checking, it can be delusional, but most of the time it's okay. So let's see.
Yvonne, how do you make it add a little bold thing in front at the beginning of the question? Did you tell it to do that?
No, it was her initiative.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I like that.
Like a subtitle, maybe.
Yeah.
It kind of tells you what the point of the question is,
Yeah, good idea. I'm learning how to be better at prompt engineering, what they call, and I learned a few kind of tricks. And what I used here, when you talk to any kind of LLM, any kind of AI that work with text, always set her a role. So start your question always with, you are, let's say, an English teacher, and you are helping me with this and that. And this simple thing, it's tremendous improve the output. So
share those tips with us, Yvonne, in later. Okay, I want to know those things. I need to know that stuff. Teach me, Yvonne. Teach me.
Okay. Let's start from the first one. Sergey, could you please?
Initial reaction. At the beginning of this movie, Kelvin Weber believes a nuclear war has started and takes his pregnant wife Helen into an underground shelter. How did you feel about Kelvin's decision to live underground for 35 years? Do you think his actions were very reasonable given his understanding of the situation? According to the the situation with the fly, I understood Calvin's decision. It seems reasonable and logic because he became to save his family. But the next life, it was difficult because they live inside the
Shelter?
inside the shelter without other connection with people, without knowledge what happened underground, what happened on the planet, and they live inside the small world with the small with the understandable rules. It looks like a freeze time.
Yeah.
They had only one types of music from the 16th and movie from the 16th, but I respect of his job because he built a good shelter with TV, like a video projector, with music, with some plants. For me, it was good, but the psychology, it was difficult. The creator of this movie avoided some psychologist problems, and I remember one phrase from Adam when he had the conversation with his mother about new lady, and to be honest, I didn't think about lady whole time. I thought only last 15 years, but seriously, it was funny. Only last 15 years.
Okay, so his decision for what he kind of watched, Kelvin, right? Watched, it was kind of correct, right? So he has had some reasons under this decision, but 35 years, Sergey, isn't it too much? 35 years.
1 year, it's too much, but 35 years, it's very, very too much. I don't know. Maybe you know a lot of stories. Prisoners who stay in the prison 30 years, 35 years, and they then they went from the prison. They can't live in the modern society because they got used to live in the prison. I think we can see the similar example.
But how he choose this kind of amount of years, 35 years? Is it connected to nuclear blast or, this, how we call it, half time period?
Half-lives. It's got to be connected to the half-lives of some radioactive fallout, Nagasaki and Hiroshima, how many years before they were habitable again? Do you remember? I don't know how long they had to stay out of there.
I thought it's just a few years. It's what I remember. So
yeah, it wasn't 35 years. I know that. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like 5 years, maybe even less. So it shouldn't be so long.
Yeah, but all he saw was, his house, blew up. That could have been a gas leak or anything. He saw no evidence of a nuclear attack at all. He made a big assumption. Oh, one explosion. Oh my God. World War has started to go underground for 35 years. To me, he was way rash and premature. That's just me.
But he was obsessed, right? Obsessed with this idea, with this nuclear war, and he made this shelter after all, right? So people in a sane mind would not do this, I think. So yeah, paranoia.
No, but at this time it was quite common having shelter like this.
Well, yes, and I heard from my colleague from Israel, so they all have these rooms in their houses.
Well, that's different. Yeah, that's it. They do have air raids and missile attacks over there. So, but we have people today, Nesma, that think that are ready for the end of the world. They're called survivalists, and they live out in the woods, and they have an underground bunker and food stored away. And they'll sell that on the internet. You can buy emergency food rations in the internet to put in your bunker. So we got people today that still think like that. They're paranoid, man.
Do you call them cynics?
No, we call them survivalists. I'm a cynic.
That's right.
Survivalists. Yeah.
Jean, how we define a cynic? What does it mean to be one?
I think is a person that don't believe in anything. I think I don't know how to call. It's difficult.
Yeah, I
Or a
would say,
person that who no, I don't know. I think Putin is a cynic.
A cynic is a person that believes the worst in people. We believe the worst in people. We believe they're going to do evil. They're going to cheat you. They're going to lie. They're going to steal. We have no belief in good motives at all. We believe everyone's motives are deceitful.
Mhm. And what Gerard said, it's more likely like nihilist or nihilist. Let me write.
Nihilist. Yeah,
Okay.
a nihilist believes that nothing is worthwhile. We may as well all be dead. You know, we can't do any good in the world. You know, we're
Okay,
just wasting
so-
our breath here.
So I'm reading on the dictionary that cynic is a negative person and doesn't believe in anything and distrustful, a septic.
He
Okay.
believes that everybody has bad motives. Everybody has bad motives.
Well, we call it just a life experience, right?
Yeah, yeah. To me, it's just learning from your environment. That's how I got this way.
Gerard, could you help us with number 2?
Life underground. The Weber family adapts to life in the shelter, creating a microcosm at the 1960s American life. Discuss how the movie portrays life in the shelter. What aspects of their underground life did you find most interesting or surprising?
Yeah, let's start with what is microcosm? So it's a small space or something.
Yeah.
Small universe,
Small universe. Mhm.
small cosmos.
Yeah.
I was surprised how could get so much energy for many years without batteries, because batteries need to be recharged.
Yeah, it was well lit, nice
Yes.
fresh air all the time.
I was
Water.
the screenwriter. I would make the scientists could make a small nuclear reactor. It would have more sense than having so many batteries. Because it's impossible. Even if you have many batteries, even the batteries without doing nothing, they discharge.
Yeah, it was a little unrealistic.
Yeah,
And another thing unrealistic was the plane. This plane was hit in Cuba, and California should be Florida. Florida is close to Cuba, so it could be more plausible being in a city in Florida. And actually, some planes that were taking big pictures in Cuba at this time were hit, but not. Los Angeles is very far away from Cuba.
Yeah, what I like it this big swimming pools, or how we call it, for fish, So usually asked us about vitamin D, but we know that vitamin D is inside fish. So if you don't have access to the sun, you can eat fish a lot. So it's kind of covered. And usually Aleutians and these North tribes, that's the reason why they have no problem with vitamin D, because they eat a lot of fish. So on the north.
Okay.
Yeah, but I like it. I like it. This kind of really how we call it, a closed infrastructure, right? So everything kind of is here. We have plants, we have fish, we have a lot of store.
A microcosm. It's a microcosm.
But I think to plan this, to make it kind of real, it's almost impossible, because any single mistake, any small kind of shortage of something will ruin everything.
Yeah. Even today, I don't think we could do that yet.
The other thing that surprised me is his parents didn't teach anything about sexual education. Nothing.
Yeah, I mean, even in the movies, you would learn that about romance, right? You'd learn about romance. Now, in the old days, we didn't show two adults in the same bed. In the old days, we didn't show that. But you know, still, you know, his parents would have taught him that stuff, I would think, but I guess not. I don't know.
At least the basics.
Yeah, he was too naive. I'm sorry, to be that old, to be 35 years old, he was too naive to me.
And speaking about this microcosm, you know, there was an experiment from volunteers. They made a kind of a big dome, right? Sergey, do you remember this? And put people.
Yes, I remember. It was 2 years ago, and one French lady, a Russian lady, and one guy. They lived inside the closed space during the 500 days.
Yeah, Mars simulation. Yeah.
And just the psychology of people being trapped in the same area for that long is a real concern, because people get on each other's nerves and you got no place to go, you know. So a little idealistic, you know, 3 people living happily, ideally, you know, 35 years underground in one little small area. Unbelievable.
Yeah, but we can see that for wife it was kind of a hard experience, right? She started to drink a lot, so she was not, what's the word for the
Reliant. I don't know. Yeah, she didn't like it. Yeah, she did. She was more social.
Yeah. So there are some people like introverts, or how we call them, they're self-sufficient, right? So I can be alone and I don't need anyone, right? As I can just read a book for next 40 years. But but for a lady who used to, you know, to make dance, all this
Socialize.
yeah. It's not something that she liked. Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's move further. Nesma, could you help us with number 3?
Yes, emergence into the modern world. After 35 years, Adam Weber emerges into the 1990s to find never experienced life outside the shelter. To find this, I missed the line. Oh yeah, to find supplies and a wife. What challenges do you think are the hardest for someone like Adam? I believe that he was so strong because for someone that never met anybody except his parents, I was supposing, you know, he would be shocked or something, but he was so flexible, and he could deal with everybody politely, and he could accept all the differences. Even the different people, the different types of people, like gay people and the what was the word?
Mutants, mutants, right?
Mutants, yeah.
Mutants, yeah, and thieves, like the person in the shop that he wanted to take his baseball cards. He was very flexible. He could deal with women. That was very strange. So.
Yeah, but he had low expectations at the beginning, right? So he was expecting that the world is just a big, huge ruin, right? And people, they are all mutants and no society at all. So the expectation bar was too low, right? And when he found that it's not, so everything was good for him, right? Because of this low expectation.
Almost, but you know, his dad was the opposite, right? Because he thought like the society in 1990s was much worse than he was expecting, right?
I would say much better, because he expected that nuclear war happened, right? Nuclear war happened and everything is destroyed. But when he came to surface, it was kind of more or less better than he expected.
And never once did any of them say, well, it doesn't look like anything was ever destroyed. It was like, how did they rebuild so fast?
Yeah.
Well, duh, you know? Can't build all that in 35 years. I mean, clearly it was never destroyed, but they never stated that realization, you know? They never admitted, we screwed up. We were stupid, you know?
Because this is going to be a great shock. Right?
Yeah.
Like they got locked for 35 years for nothing.
They never said that, you know. Dad got no criticism.
Yeah.
And after 35 years, mom and dad didn't come out to look around. Come on.
Yeah.
But they were locked. Do you remember? It was a kind of mechanism of locks, so they could not kind of break them. It was the idea
Yes.
of that.
There's no option.
Yeah, but
yes.
when he
Definitely
got
not.
out, though, when he got out, the kid got out, you know, they could have gotten out, I would have thought. I would have run to the surface for the first time to see the sun, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like, son, you go out and find, you risk your life and go out and find food, son. You got the least experience, and we'll stay safe in the shelter and let us know how it is out there. Come on, you know.
Okay. Vova, could you answer number 4?
First impressions of the modern world. Adam's first encounters with the outside world are filled with misunderstandings and comedic moments. What scene or interaction did you find the most amusing or telling about the differences between Adam's expectation and reality? Adam expected like it will be all ruins, but he was surprised that there are people and buildings and
Yeah. Do you remember any comedic moments?
he was polite with everyone.
Yeah. I remember he met a black lady. Do you remember? Post office lady or something. And he was so surprised. And she said, what? Why are you looking at me? Because it was so kind of strange, awkward moment. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know what to add here, but of course he was not prepared to the society, right? We can say he was well educated and kind of prepared in the standards of 1960s, but he came to modern society with no understanding. So I always wonder, we just remember this simulation for Mars mission, right? And I always, it's my favorite joke, you know. So they have no news in this dome, right? So they have no internet. And I always imagine how people will return from this simulation and learn about COVID, about the situation, what we live now. So it will be a huge shock, I think. I would not like to be in this situation.
And back in the old days, blacks and whites were kept separate. This was different times. Blacks lived in black neighborhoods and they sat at the back of the bus, and blacks and whites didn't mix. They weren't considered equal back then.
Yeah.
So this immediate acceptance, oh, wow, a black person, oh boy, you know, that's nonsense. It wasn't like that in the old days. Blacks and whites did not talk to each other. You know, it was a different thing until Martin Luther King came along.
Yeah, but he never lived in 1960s by himself, right? So his father and mother could not mention this at all, I think, because they live in their own bubble, right? So why to mention some black people?
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
but again, he watched.
Yes, he's a Negro.
Yeah, he watched TV shows. In the TV shows in those old days, the blacks and the whites weren't on equal level. And you look at the old movies, there's no blacks in them.
Yep.
And if there are blacks, they're like a butler or a shoe shine person in the bus station. Yeah, so he would have had a negative impression of black people, I would think, but who knows?
I was thinking Tarzan movies.
Tarzan movies.
Yes,
yeah.
Juana.
Yeah. Botswana, yeah. Unga. Ungawa. It was Ungawa. He would tell the elephants, Ungawa elephant, and the elephant would attack. Yeah. Oh, those were the days, man.
I remember the moment when father met a black trans person, and the black trans person told, I have to be a lady, I have to be a man, what do you want? And when father returned, I'm a mutant, and they mutant. It was crazy for him, I think.
Yeah, they got to put in some woke stuff there. Yeah.
Nesma, please.
It is very surprising for me to see a trans person in a movie that was produced in 1990, and also a gay person as kind of not a main character, but he was an important character in the movie, right? He was gay. But that was very surprising because it felt like it is 2010 movie, right? Maybe.
I think, was it 1999?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it was 1999. I
Yeah,
can't remember.
1999.
Still.
So yeah, it was
Still.
pretty woke for that long ago.
when woke didn't exist yet.
Yeah. Almost
But
makes me think.
Yeah, I understand the first image of the trans person. They were making fun of him in the movie, and that he was disgusting somehow, right? But the other one, the gay one, Tory maybe, he was very good, and they kind of glorifying the image of a gay person. This is very strange to me.
Yeah, but let's think about in this way. So, okay, this person, right? I forgot his name. He said he's a gay, right? But
yes.
What else? What else he did? He kind of So we don't see any kind of action on any other messages. So
Yes.
in my opinion, he was just a friend of him, and the only reason why, in my opinion, why is authors made him gay, it's just to kind of to mitigate the fact that he's living with Eva, right, in the same apartment. I think that's the only thing that they made.
But having a good guy and introducing him as a gay is a message in itself, because back then being a gay is a crime, I guess. Was it a crime in America?
We didn't like gays in the old days. No, we didn't like gays at all. We viewed them as weird and unnatural. Yeah. So that almost, I was about to say, it almost seems like the woke people today actually took the old movies and added crap into it to send their message. That's almost what it seems like to me, because in the old days we did not like homosexuals at all.
But
okay. So where we go? At number 5, I think. Sergey, could you please take number 5?
Adam and Eve. When Adam met Eve, their relationships begins in a transactional note, with Eve helping Adam navigate the modern world in exchange for available baseball cards. How does their relationships evolve, and what does it say about the nature of genuine connection? The first Adam was a very educated person and a very upbringing person, but Eva was not much upbringing person. They stayed on the different stage of level of education. That's why they don't understand each other a long time during this movie. But anyway, Eva was a good person, and he was good at motivation. But in the first time when they met, she told some stories that I like beautiful men, but often those men were stupid and aggressive, and I can't choose good men. And maybe inside her, she understood that Adam is a good choice for her. And Eve helped to make the change over of the baseball cards for good price in the not first stop.
And when we say that she was at another level of education, we're probably correct. So she did not know many facts and some read less books, I think. But she was what we call streetwise, right? So she understands how things done, right? So what is worth what? So she was very useful for this naive guy, right? This is the guy who.
Yeah, sure. I agree with you. She was a much bigger life experience, but her life experience was on one side. It's a full life with bad guys and things. Maybe she didn't graduate college. Too, I think that's why it's not good pair for me.
Yeah, but actually, I like it the way how they interacted in the movie. I like it to see this development of their relationship, right? When I don't know, I found it kind of entertaining. So she was against him, kind of did not like him at first, but then he presented him more and more and more, and kind of I can see how it's changed, and I like it, this fact. Nesma, what do you think? Do you agree?
Yes, I do. Because it's been a while that on my own, I don't watch Hollywood movies any longer because, the type of romance there is kind of a man and a woman meet, and one of them invites the other the same night to their house, So this is kind of disgusting to me. No feelings at all, no respect for being a human being. And but I didn't see this in the movie of tonight because I felt like there were logical growth of feelings between the both of them, Eve and Adam. So that was kind of catchy to me, and I like it. So I agree with you.
Yeah.
If I were a woman and a man tried to flirt with me and I didn't want him to, I'd say get lost. And if he kept doing it, I'd hate him more and more, and I'd slap him and say, get the hell out of here, leave me alone, but he pestered her and pestered her and pestered her and followed her around, and she liked him more and more. I mean, I wouldn't be like that. I'd say, get lost, you creep.
Oh,
that's how women get,
this is how women are, right?
yeah, that didn't make sense to me.
Different social roles. We play different social roles. I totally understand what you're talking about, right? So sometimes it's hard to kind of see the situation from other side, right? So something weird. Okay, let's move. Gerard, could you please take number 6?
Contrasts of values. Adam's values, manners, and worldwide and worldview are starkly different from those of the people he meets in the 1990s. Discuss how the movie uses these differences to create humor and critique aspects of modern society.
Tough ball.
Yeah, you can see that when Adam goes with Eve to the nightclub. And those girls that she knows, she calls them bitches and sluts.
Yeah, but I like this scene in nightclub. So he was kind of
naive,
but he kind of still was outstanding, right? Different than others. So he could kind of take initiative and be bold. So good values, I think.
How could he be sleazy, if he doesn't know anything about sexuality? He couldn't be, and his parents taught him, to be a gentleman.
Yeah, he didn't seem to know about dishonesty and people cheating. His parents didn't teach him that part of society,
Yeah.
And the morals of the 60s and the 90s are very different.
Yeah, that's true.
And nowadays, even worse. Now it's unbelievable.
Oh, God.
If you listen to music, some female, some singers, the lyrics are very explicit, unbelievably explicit, especially rap music.
Yeah, I can't stand it. I can't even listen to it.
Incredible.
Okay. Well, let's move forward. Nesma, could you help us with number 7?
Yeah. Eve's influence on Adam. Eve plays a significant role in Adam's adaptation to the outside world. How does Eve help Adam? I believe because she was a good person. Being a good person makes him feel like he can meddle in the new society, and people are good and they can accept him. Especially that he was very flexible. He could learn anything so fast. And in what ways does Adam's presence change Eve's outlook on life? Because Eve used to meet only mean people, and she didn't expect any good from men, that she decided not to have any kind of a serious relationship. But when she met Adam, he was gentle, polite, and he had good manners, and he was sincere somehow. And she thought like there are still good people in the world. So she kind of positively changed her point of view about life.
Nesma, can we say that she was a cynic, as we as we learned?
No.
No?
No, I don't think so, because she was, she had kind of relations, bad ones, and she wasn't so noble. I mean, she looked like them somehow, except that she was a good person. Sometimes she couldn't accept cheating people about money and stuff. But I don't know, I can't see any special things about her. She looked like her ex-boyfriend. Just a girl.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
like
think-
example. Yeah, teacher.
Yeah, I don't think she thought all men were bad, but she knew that she always chose bad men.
And she said like all the men that she met, looked at her body. So that's what she was expecting from men. She had no belief in marriage and social relationships, serious ones. So
Yeah, I like it the moment when he invited her to the shelter, right? And she understood it in a wrong way, kind of. she thought it's kind of a grave or something, right?
Yeah, serial killers trap you underground, right?
Wow.
And do horrible things to you. So come live underground with me. No thanks.
Yeah. And she invited this social worker, or who was this lady? I don't understand exactly. Kind of a policeman, right? The lady, a social worker who went there to investigate Adam. So what it was.
Yeah, I thought she didn't suspect him to be a serial killer because she didn't call the police. She called somebody that has to do with the atomic bombs and shelters and stuff like that. Because when the black woman came in, her focus was about the shelter and what bombs that he was talking about and since when and stuff like that. She wasn't really concerned about killing and stuff. That wasn't a real normal police.
But she was scared that that he's mad, right? He's need a psychological help, right?
Oh yeah.
He's a danger to himself and others.
Yes.
Sergey?
I think the problem was that she didn't trust him and she didn't listen him. And at one problem. The second problem, she was an historical lady and jealous lady. And when she saw some potential affairs of Adam, she was crazy and she started. She didn't understand what she had to do for avoiding some problems, that psychology problem of her. And that's why to be honest, I annoyed of this moment of this movie because I hate historical ladies so much, and I don't understand this moment, and I don't understand how to work with her, with them, and that's why we made a similar moment with her in this movie.
I see. Okay, let's move. So let me answer number 8. The Weber family's adjustment. Eventually, Kelvin and Helen come to the surface as well. How does their reaction to the modern world compare to Adam's? Discuss the adjustment process and its challenges. Well, I remember that in the movie it was kind of a irony, right, or comedic scene. So when they came to the surface, there was a guy who made a charge of them, right? So charge of them. So I am the father, I am the mother, and the son, of course. So
He was a religious guy, and I didn't watch the movie, so but it seemed like when Adam first appeared, this guy must have thought he was a god from heaven or something, because he kind of appeared from out of the ground or whatever. So the guy thought that they were kind of holy people or something.
yes, exactly. And he created a church, a new church, and he was a kind of a prophet in this church, right? Because I see the God. And God gave me this signals or key or something. And well, and mother, right, Helen, she was kind of scared of these people who tried to make this cult or church. So their experience was different, and the father experience was different. Maybe because he went to the surface at the night, see the kind of bad situation on the street. So yes. So as far as I remember, they decided to stay more in the basement, in the shelter, and that's why they need to restock, right? To give more energy and food and everything. Well, I don't think that it's a right solution to stay in the basement more.
Thing too is they sent him out. He bought like 176 batteries or something.
Yeah.
If they knew they could come up to the surface, why would they buy more batteries to stay underground longer? That part didn't make sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. I think that the main idea is, as I see it, that they understand that they could live on the surface, but they don't want to, because they kind of society, what they have in the memory is destroyed. They think that we can keep it in our shelter, this kind of conservate it. That's what I think. Yeah. Okay, we have a few more questions, but they are more general. They're not about movies itself, as I see, but more general, kind of a discussion. Do we want to answer any of this? Sergey or Gerard?
One thing I would like to pinpoint, eventually they don't tell the truth to the mother. I think it was a good decision. he would had become crazy, all this year inside this hole.
Yeah, but
that was the good idea.
Yeah, but Adam told his father the truth at the very end of the movie. He said, that Soviet Union collapsed, there was no war, and so you don't need a shelter. But father didn't believe. Do you remember? He said,
yeah.
He said, so what? Soviets collapsed by themselves, and you believe it? So it's just impossible.
And I think at the end the father was, measuring the garden to build another shelter.
Exactly. Exactly. But I can see it like a hobby, He's good at this. He's enjoying doing this. So probably he will build another one.
The good thing about the shelter is actually the shelter saved their lives.
Mm-hmm.
Because, they thought there was a war coming and they went into the shelter and then the plane came, pulled down, exploded. So
that didn't make any sense either. The guy in the plane said, I'm going to fly the plane out to sea and I'm going to eject. And then suddenly it's over land and going straight up. What's going on with that? That didn't make any sense to me. The plane didn't behave like he thought it would behave. It didn't make any sense at all.
Especially from Cuba to Los Angeles.
Yeah. So what's going on here? That didn't make any sense.
Yeah, I remember the moment when he told about Soviet Union collapses, and he didn't trust of this. But she told Soviet Union lost, but communists won win me because I lived 35 years old in underground bloody communists.
Yeah. Well, what another point that I like it about the movie that in the movie there are a few times they talked about different type of education, right? Do you remember that Eve and her friend, they did not have family? They didn't have. They said our parents were divorced and they did not pay attention to us. And Adam was kind of an opposite to this, right? So he had too much of his parents, I would say. And they kind of compared this, what is better, what is worse. And I can see similar examples in my life. I can see that in a kind of strong families, kind of they educate children in a way kind of very similar to Adam, I would say. They are very kind of polite, knowledgeable, but they are totally not streetwise. They cannot kind of live in society. So I found this point in the movie very kind of believable. What do you think? Next one?
I have a question. Do they exaggerate about the life in the 60s? I mean, I felt like all people there were noble and they were well behaving and everybody was polite. Is that true? Or maybe they were just a normal society but with less damage?
We were a very polite society. We helped strangers. There were no serial killers, no terrorists. Everybody helped everybody. It was a wonderful time.
I think it's not only in America. I think it applies to the whole world, you know. So many years ago, when I was a child, I was always feeling safe. Whatever happens, I could, you know, if I lost or if I need some food or something, I could knock any door and get anything what I need. You know, I had no fear at all. And nowadays, it's just, you know, unimaginable, you know, and yeah, it's very, very different.
In the old days, we never locked our doors. You could just open a door, walk into someone's home. Nobody ever locked their doors. Yeah. Today, you don't lock your door, man. You're going to be, everything's going to be stolen. It's horrible. Yeah, those days were safe.
In my childhood, we covered keys under the rug before in front of Paul's door.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Nesma. It was different life back then. So you know, back then when I was kind of maybe 14 or something, I could kind of play or be by myself for several days straight, and my parents were not concerned. So we don't have mobile phones then, and I could not call them, but nobody was concerned, you know, because I just play with another boys, you know. I will sleep somewhere, I will eat somewhere, everything will be fine with me. Nowadays, if my, let's say, children don't phone me every hour, I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I don't remember that we even had bullies in the old days. In our high schools, we didn't have any bullying going on. It wasn't an issue back then.
Yeah. So the world changed, and and there is no button, it seems. So it will be different.
I see.
Got rotten. Yeah.
I see this always, even about Egypt and different places in the world, actually. But I thought like they were exaggerating in movies and drama because I never seen this myself. I was born in 1991, so I didn't experience any of those. I was born in the countryside, and I was taught that the life in the countryside is like that always. But in cities, people are different. So I felt like they were exaggerating.
Watch our old movies, the black and white movies, Nesma, you won't believe it. Everybody is so polite, so kind, so friendly. That was real back then. Yeah, you can't even believe that today. You look back then and go, oh, that can't be real. It was nice back then before the world got crowded.
Yeah. And I think that's the reason why this guy Kelvin, he want to be in this shelter. he doesn't
Yes.
he doesn't want to be on the surface, you know. So okay, I will watch the same movie again 20 times, but you know, I don't want to deal with all you.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Anything else about the movie?
Yes, and I would like to continue the idea about different of education. And they asked him, "Where are you from?" And he don't understand. He didn't. He tried to explain, but in the finally he told, "I'm from Alaska." For me, Alaska for American looks like a different planet because I don't know how people live in Alaska. Inside the snow, inside the mountain.
Yes.
Maybe in the Alaska they have the similar manners like you. I don't know because I live in Florida, I live in California. Where is Alaska? I can't imagine that I have to fly from the USA, from Canada, on the I don't know where is, but
Yeah,
that's
they
why
call
Alaska is a good explanation of this manner.
yeah, they call us the lower 48. Oh, he's from the lower 48 states, the lower 48. Yeah, we're kind of like, a separate country to Alaska people, I think.
Yeah. I've seen in some movies that when someone behaved strange, they say he's from Canada or something, and I think it's the same idea. So, so if you kind of don't keep the modern culture,
A cartoon, South Park.
South Park.
In South Park, Americans looks like good. Canadian looks strange.
Yeah, funny. Yeah, so that you mentioned.
Yeah, in the old days, Americans didn't go outside the country, so anybody outside the country was a foreigner, you know. So yeah, we didn't interact with foreigners in the old days. We stayed inside the U.S. We didn't travel much, didn't speak foreign languages, none of that. It was like we were totally isolated.
Yeah. Okay, let's. Yeah, that's one.
Anybody that can survive that weather of Alaska can do anything in the world because they are literally living in a fridge, maybe a freezer.
Yep. Yeah, if you can live in a harsh environment, you're tough. Yeah, I don't know how they do it.
Yeah. Okay, so Vasansk made kind of main slide for us, and I had to Google what is TOPS. So we have this name, TOPS, and I did not know what is this, so I Googled, and it's an American company that manufactures trading cards. So do you remember? So Adam's fortune, right, was from trading cards and from old stocks from Apple and Microsoft and everything. So, and it's a good explanation of his money, right? If you bought some actions of Apple in 1960s, now you are a millionaire, of course.
Yeah, it's like comic books. If you kept old comic books, issue 1 of Superman, that's worth a lot of money today, just to collectors.
Yeah. And I like how Vasans made this trading cards, these cards kind of old and rusty, right? So with defects.
Yeah, very cute. Yeah.
And actually, I learned that it's a huge business, this card. So it's not an exaggeration in the movie, because I know that eBay sells them like a kind of millions cards, monthly. So when people buy kind of tremendous money for this, I never understood this because it's not part of my culture. Some Americans think.
Yeah. It's almost like
ridiculous.
what were those stupid EFTs or those tokens where you can buy ownership of a picture or something?
Yeah,
it's nonsense like that,
Yeah, very funny. Sergey, do you have any cards? Basketball, football cards?
Fortunately not, because I don't trust on this and I don't interest in this card. It's only paper cards. I don't know. I understood that the baseball is a religion for Americans, but this game for me not understandable yet, and I am a sports fan, but I like the stories and I like this watch, but I can't buy some card. Whoa, I have the Joe DiMaggio card and fantastic, but
Mesmo, do you know about these cards? Do you have one? Mesmo?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
No. If you consider a kitchen gadget to be one of them, I would have so many.
Yeah, but it's funny because it's so big business still, and you know, some people they pay to experts to kind of testify that this card is authentic, and eBay built a huge kind of department of it's called Center of Authenticity or something like this. So, and there are experts who can prove, you know, that this baseball card made in 1960 and it's original. And people pay a lot for this.
Crazy.
Yeah, I find this to be so ridiculous because old stuff are old to me, are worthless. But some people, even in Egypt, but they have to be the elite of the elite people that are interested in those things. Because we have plenty of, pharaoh stuff, so we are used to old things.
Interesting. Sergey?
You know, the Mona Lisa painting, to me, it's worth nothing. You hang it on the wall, it looks pretty, you know, but, you know, it's worth millions of dollars. You know, to me, I don't understand that. When World War III comes, that $1 million painting is worth zero, you know, tear it up and use it for toilet paper. But people value things because they're old. I've never understood it.
Yeah, it's strange. Sergey?
I heard that the collection process is a psychology deviation for people because I don't understand this process. You collect it, you are collecting during his life. I don't know, aluminum coin cards, postmarks, and etc. But you spent a lot of money, and in the final, you will not have the prize. It's the interest of this collection only process.
Yep. Okay, let's make a few slides. Sergey, could you start please with this one?
Yeah, it's a dining room of old style house. In the left side, we can see the shelves with some bottles of alcohol and glasses and special device for glasses. You put glasses in the middle things. I don't know what is it. In Russia, we have glass, and we put in the middle device for handling this glass.
Yeah, you're talking
punch
about
bowl. Yeah.
On the left.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, we can see a clone with small boxes. I think you put the bottom, and the clone had to start to play some music from harmonica.
Maybe.
And I don't know what is the two white cylinder boxes with some old style soldiers. Maybe it's some small pieces, maybe salt or sugar. I don't know.
It looks like a big. I would say it's a pinta glass for beer or something. So sometimes I can see such. Yeah. Could you see how people dressed?
Yeah, I like this time because men took in good costumes with the gilets, with the shells, and lady looks good. But yes, I can see the black people, and because it's the 16th. But anyway, they look like an aristocrat. But in my opinion, it is a middle class because we had some parts of middle class of American.
Yeah, middle class, it's another tricky word, right? Because this name, middle class, it's changed so much. So middle class in the 60s, it was what? It was a huge house, right? One people working, family and everything. Now middle class, it's if you know.
Work
Yeah.
2 jobs to get food on your table. It's terrible.
Yeah, so it's very, very different. So this standard of living, it's different, very different. Okay, let's find something interesting.
You know, it showed a radio there. You'd
Yeah.
think underground, he would have heard all the radio communications
Yeah.
from society. And it I guess it didn't show that. You know what I mean?
This radio he used to intercept this military jet conversation. So he knew about all these complications with nuclear things. But under the ground, he did not have radio. I don't know why. Maybe it was
Okay.
insulated. So it was on the top. It was before the bunker.
Okay.
Mm. So they go into this bunker here and how would say? Can I say debris or something? Ruins?
Debris. Yep. Debris.
Debris. Yeah, let me find something like this. Nesma, do you like this picture?
Yeah. I can see they are in the shelter and it looks somehow nice. They wanted to make it look like a house. So I can see a table with chairs and I can see now why the man was impressed with the ceilings, because I can see a metal ceiling here, which is very not pleasant. She is using a carpet that looks like grass. Maybe she wanted to get the vibes of being a normal life, of living a normal life. What else? She was wearing an apron. She is a good wife because she cooks. And the artificial plant, I can see that they were acting like normal.
Probably real plants. I don't think we had artificial plants back then.
Yeah, but hell,
that's a pretty big
sun?
bunker.
Yeah, huge one.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. They said that they used to say that this is for the government, so companies would help them. Secret project of the government.
Yeah, he paid a lot of people from different states, they say, to build different parts to keep it in secret. And he always told, you have to keep it in secret because it's for government. So something like this.
What I liked the most about the wife is that she didn't like the life in the shelter, but she kind of can I say obeyed her husband or something. She was very cooperative, and she didn't even show that she was upset. Even she could hide to scream and to express her depression alone. I like her as a wife. Yeah,
I would say she was supportive, right, to her husband.
yes.
So even she did not like the decision, she kind of accepted. I would say this way. Yeah.
That's amazing. An old wife.
Yeah. Impossible in current world, right? You're right. Sergey?
Maybe.
When I see this photo and this space, I can't imagine how many cubical meters of soil he excavated from his house. I can't imagine it.
A lot of work for sure. Yeah.
I was thinking about that too. Yeah, that's a lot of dirt to move up and put somewhere.
Yeah, but if you like bunkers, here in Berlin we have one that was built for Hitler, and it's a huge one. It's much better. So you can put like.
He was a Hitler.
Yeah. What?
For me, it looks like IKEA. Like this room, like you can watch, and the carpet, like it's all alone standing.
Actually, do you have IKEA in America? IKEA, it's a famous Swedish company that makes furniture everywhere in Europe. No, you don't have it.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound familiar. A-Care?
Yeah.
IKEA.
Oh,
Yeah.
IKEA.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have IKEA. They make cheap junk.
Cheap junk, yeah. But it's
I
kind
don't
of
like
everywhere.
IKEA, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Let's.
People always make fun of IKEA that they get you get your stuff in pieces
Yeah.
from IKEA,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Usually it's the slippery slope for hate IKEA. In Russia and Europe, we like IKEA so much.
Wow. We don't, it's not real common over here. We have it, but I've never even been inside. Well, I think I went inside one time. I was unimpressed. I left. Never went back inside.
But it's very kind of, I wouldn't say, well, they have their niche, and this niche is very kind of understandable, because people here in Europe, they like to rent houses and apartments, and when you rent it, you rent only walls, you have no furniture inside. So every kind of new apartment, you have to buy furniture for it, and IKEA kind of have a cheap solution for you, and that's why people like it. So yeah, used a lot. Vova, tell us, what can you see on this picture?
Like, it looks like a store, but without prices. It's and I can see Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, that's right, Dr. Pepper. And it's kind of in wooden boxes, I would say.
Yeah, crates. Yeah, we used to have drinks used to come in wooden crates. Yeah.
It's nice.
It's native advertisement.
Yeah. Anything else?
I remember he liked hot Dr. Pepper.
Hot dog, yeah. He said, I always drink it hot, which is strange, right?
Oh, nasty. Yeah.
Anything else? A lot of boxes, right? I can see detergent here on the top. Do you know what is detergent? It's something that you use to wash, right? To wash clothes or something.
Oh, detergent.
Detergent, yeah. Detergent.
Like insurgent detergent.
Okay, detergent. We can see a lot of boxes, and do you remember what was that? His wife, he asked especially for wine. Do you remember when she sent Adam for his talking, he gave him additional paper with all the wine and alcohol she needs. It's funny one. Yeah, but this boy, you know, he's looking nice. He's a small boy, and these plants. Yeah, I like it. I can see tomato on the right, I think, and cabbage.
And bicycle.
Yeah. Yeah, and this guy, it was before he kind of became a bum.
George.
Became the prophet. Yeah.
Became the prophet.
Is bishop something about the Christian?
Bishop?
Bishop?
Bishop? No, that was his name, right? I thought it was a title from
Bishop.
Yeah. Bishop can be a religious position. If you play chess, bishop is a chess piece too, right?
Yep. Exactly.
Oh, yes.
They can move diagonally. Yeah. But yeah, in the Catholic Church, they have cardinals and bishops and all these religious ranks. Bishop is a religious rank. Yeah.
Only Christian, right?
Catholic, only Catholics.
Catholic, correct.
Yeah. They have Catholics have a very elaborate authority structure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nesma, what do you think about his outfit?
Horrible.
I was about to ask about his jacket. Eve's ex-boyfriend commented on the jacket. He was being sarcastic, right? Because I didn't like the jacket. He said, nice jacket.
It looks girlish for a man.
Oh.
Yeah,
And what about his pants?
Horrible too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you remember? So it's his mother made these clothes for him, and she used her dresses like a material. So they have no other
Okay.
dresses.
Okay.
Clothes.
Oh,
Yeah.
she could have.
Women's prints. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's call it a day. I think there are few more slides, but there are only few of us. Yeah, I don't know. Teacher, I regret that you did not enjoy the movie. I thought it would be it would be nice. Yeah.
If people are too stupid and clueless, I can't watch movies like that because I see that the woke people over here are like that, and I just can't stand to watch stupid, clueless people because we got too many of them over here. It's just a weakness I have, Yvonne. It's okay.
I see.
I guess, teacher, the message here is to just present the two pictures of the past and the present of the American society. So you get the shock of how could we get that deep of damage in the society.
Yeah, culture shock, we call it.
Yes.
Yeah, when you go from one place to another place that's totally different, we call it culture shock. It's like, oh my God, you know.
Yeah. Well, I myself like this movie. I don't know. Nesma, what do you think? Do you like it?
I think yes.
Yeah, I don't think it's kind of a deep movie, you know, to make us to think about it. But like you know, for one-time entertainment, it's pretty much it. I like it.
It's a comedy. Comedies make you laugh, you know.
Yeah.
If it's funny to you. It wasn't funny to me, but
yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for discussions. Thank you very much for everything. See you next week. Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.